Welcome back to another episode of Late Entry, hosted as always by RBF Kyle.
How we doing, everybody?
And your boy Double Dose. It's a celebration over here for several reasons. The first one being the fact this is episode 100. 100 episodes of Late Entry. So thank you everybody for tuning in and watching us this whole time. But because it's episode 100, we are here in person. First ever in-person podcast.
Let's fucking go.
Out here, dog.
Freaking go.
So, we've got some stuff we're going to talk about. We obviously the Super Bowl, Bad Bunny halftime performance, a little bit of the Olympics, and some James Pearce Jr. But before we get into that, you said you got something to talk about Saturday?
Yeah, man. I went foaling for which is
what?
I went foaling on Saturday night, which is football bowling. So you take a football, you chuck it down the lane, and you try to knock down 10 pins with a football throw. You try to be freaking Matthew Stafford out there for a couple minutes. And
that sounds not difficult, is it?
It is very, very, at the age of 29, almost 30, it is tough, man. Like you think like, and I was slinging it. You get like the first nine couldn't be easier.
The fuck was that? Peanut gallery out here fucking us up. Yes. The first nine what?
First nine are easy because you get like if you knock down head pin or you knock down the 5, like the torpedo happens. But you get down to the last pin and it's one of the ones on the edge, bro. I started whipping them like they were like I just like I was in high school again, and literally my shoulder, I cannot feel my right shoulder today because I was just trying to whip them like 95 miles an hour to the slot, and I was landing them either just short or throwing them just to my friend's hands on the other side, and it was depressing. And honestly, I'm getting old, man. I can't even. There were 3 games that happened on each side of us while we were trying to get. We did go to overtime, but like, I mean, dude, like, I threw the ball maybe 40 times. Like, I should be able to throw a football 40 times. My right shoulder is just, I can't pick it up past here right now. Like,
can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How old are you?
29 or 2 for 50.
What?
Shout out Mr. Allen's, sponsor of the show.
Who is Mr. Allen's?
Mr. Allen's? Oh, that's they sell suits, they sell shoes, they got it all. It's 29 or 2 for 50 all the time.
Oh,
you never heard of that?
Okay. No. What do you mean I've ever heard of it? Is this something out here?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a Detroit thing.
Okay.
So, you grew up out here.
I grew up in Detroit.
You grew up in Michigan?
Not by Mr. Allen's.
All right.
Very, like this is Mr. Rogers. Like this is Mr. Rogers. Like everyone knows Mr. Rogers.
Hey, let me know in the comment. Hey, if the white guy knowing about Mr. Allen's is crazy. The black guy not knowing about Mr. Allen's.
I'm not from here.
All right, dude. You act like you're from. Never mind. I was gonna say Africa.
I am from Africa at some point way back.
That's why I was like, all right, well, yeah, he is.
Okay, so my point of asking how old you are, you're 29?
Or 2 for 50.
Tom Brady was 42 slinging it.
Mm-hmm. All right, shut up, dude.
All right, you want to know what's worse than that?
Go ahead.
Aaron Rodgers in his 40s, still slinging it.
Phillip Rivers
came off his couch. He got 1,200 kids. He'd be retired for 100 years and put up a better performance against the Seahawks than Drake May did.
It's never.
And you're out here talking about your shoulder hurts from throwing the ball.
40 throws, bro. 40 throws. It was a lot, man. I'm tired.
Old ass.
Dude, you feel me, man? I'm swollen.
Get your arm away from me. Old ass.
All right, hey.
So anyways, after this
I'll meet you at the Folding Warehouse, bro. We'll see who fares better.
This 100th episode is our last one. We gotta take Kyle to the retirement home afterwards. We're gonna take him out back and put him down.
I just need a trainer, bro. One of our fans needs to train me, bro.
Oh, Yeller's last episode.
I need a QB coach. Bro. I'll come back. I can do this. Put me in, dude. Put me in. I got this. I got heart.
You got heart?
I got heart, dude.
Look at you getting stiff, moving around, legs locking up.
I'm like, hey,
hang out.
Hey, don't mess with me, dude. I still got. Hey, I'll still play today. I know I'm sore, but I'll still play.
Sit down. I feel like Skip Bayless. Put your glasses back on. Oh man. So it is a celebration, not only with it being 100 episodes, but yesterday there was a Super Bowl, and in the Super Bowl, the Patriots lost, as someone told you was going to happen. But all of the worst people were upset. Robert Kraft, Dave Portnoy, and all the people in our TikTok and YouTube comments talking trash about how I didn't know anything about football, about how the Patriots were going to come out here and surprise us. All we heard about was because I told everyone, I said, look, they've played nobody all season. The regular season played nobody. The playoffs played nobody. The easiest path to the Super Bowl in NFL history, at least that I've been aware of. And everyone to come and talk about, oh no, you don't know what's going on. You haven't watched the games. Do you know how many top 10 defenses they beat in their playoff run? They had to go through this defense and this defense and this defense. And I said, okay, that's all cool. It's easy to beat a good defense when their offense is putting up nothing. The Browns putting up nothing. You get the playoffs. They're playing the Texans defense. Horrible offense. The Chargers couldn't do anything on offense. The Denver Broncos, you played in a blizzard and with a backup quarterback. No offense. And what did I say was going to happen, Kyle? Do you remember? We were talking with Matt. I said, look, if we all respect the Patriots defense, they have a good defense. But when you have a good defense, the Seahawks also have a good defense. If they're a push, can Drake Maye and the Patriots offense outscore Sam Darnold and the Seahawks offense? And what happened, Kyle?
They couldn't do it. Drake Maye held the ball for a total of like 5 seconds through the entire game.
I have been trying to tell y'all, and this is the ultimate celebration because I was fully prepared, as many people have been talking about in the comments. I said, well, okay, well, if it loses or if they win, what's going to happen? I said, even if they play close, they said, oh, you're going to move the goalposts, and you're not going to give them the credit. I was fully prepared to come out here if it was a close game. If the Patriots lost 21-24, you know what I mean? I was going to give them the credit. But instead, we got what most people consider one of the most boring Super Bowls of all time, due to, in part, because the Patriots could not move the ball against the Seattle defense, which I told y'all was going to happen. I said so many times it had not been tested. And when you come out here and test a real team against one of these teams that's played nobody, it's going to be nothing. And that's exactly what happened. They all talked about, and I tweeted this last night, they talked about all these top 10 defenses. It's like the Cat Williams reference. A Chrysler 300 looked like a Phantom until a Phantom pulled up. All these top 10 defenses look good, so you saw a real defense with a real offense attached to it. Smoke. So we're gonna give you a few little stats from the game, and then we're gonna go into Kyle and let you give your thoughts. Everyone obviously knows mine. Maybe y'all should listen to old Double Dose a few times. Might learn something. Kind of been telling y'all some things, but we have.
You had a hot football season, I'll tell you that.
All right, Jason Myers, most points in NFL history in the Super Bowl for a kicker, 17 points. Drake Maye, most points in a quarter, 235 yards in the fourth quarter, for a total of 295 yards in the game, meaning that in the first 3 quarters of the game, Drake Maye threw for 60 yards. Kenneth Walker, K9, was the first running back to win MVP in the Super Bowl since Terrell Davis in 1998. And lastly, Sam Darnold is the first quarterback of his class that included Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Baker Mayfield to not only get to, but also win a Super Bowl. Kyle, take off.
I mean, so Sam, just going off that last point, Sam Darnold getting to a Super Bowl, let alone winning one. Yeah, the defense had a lot to do with it, but you got to give the guy credit for going through 3 teams and getting to the point where he's at now. And going with a
Four
14 and 4 teams.
Four
You're
teams.
right. And getting to the point where he's at now, and he last year has 14 wins and doesn't win his division, changes teams, wins his division at what? Did they go 14-3 again, or 15-2?
I think last year was 15. I'm not sure.
Last year was 14 because the Lions got the 15 to get ahead of them.
Okay.
But yeah, either way, to have 2 winning seasons like that, I mean, I've seen all the memes. All Viking fans are killing themselves right now and kicking themselves left and right because you let this guy go. You let this guy get out of your building, and he is very clearly capable of running a very good defense, which you guys have, to a Super Bowl. And now you're stuck with my new quarterback in my dynasty league, JJ McCarthy, as your freaking franchise guy. But yeah, no, I honestly, all due respect to Sam Darnold and what he's done. The crazy thing to me that I realized through this playoff run too on the defensive side, Tariq Woolen in 2 years went from being their best corner to their worst corner. And he's not even bad. I'm not saying he's bad, but like you are now the guy that they're trying to exploit. And that's how good that Seattle's freaking defense is, you know? And they just will not bow before anybody. And yeah, honestly, like shout out Tony, shout out Blue Collar Girls. I was pushing for him because like I wanted him to kind of get his Cinderella story. He's a Patriots fan, past the Lions. You know, every Lions fan has a second team. So because,
so it's okay when it's someone else.
Yeah. Well, it's okay when it's not in division. It's okay when it's not in division.
All right.
But yeah, so I was like, yeah, man, like let's let your new kid get it. I was taking a bunch of Patriots Jello shots last night in solidarity, but it wasn't enough, man. 29-13. What a stupid, boring game overall. Like 17 points from the kicker all time, like that. Nobody wants to see that, especially in what's supposed to be the offensive league of the 2020s and all that. Like nobody wants to see that in their Super Bowl. You know, last year's was better, even though it was a complete blowout. At least you saw some offense, you know? So like this one kind of, as a fan, it was like, all right. And I like seeing defenses play well, but when it's the biggest game of the year and you know all the eyes are on you, and I know you can't control it, but it feels like they can control basically everything else. So, yeah, to me, it lacked a little bit for me. Like I was looking for a little more explosiveness.
I don't hate elite defenses playing well. I'm not trying to sit here and watch the Jets and the Titans play, and they just can't score points because the offenses suck. When you get elite defenses like the Patriots and the Seahawks, I don't necessarily mind that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because you're getting to see like the Patriots offensive line, for example. And this is what I think is so funny too, is like, and I'm not trying to glaze myself too much in this episode, even though I think personally I got a lot of reasons to be doing that.
I should have bought you some Krispy Kremes before this.
It's funny that we had to sit here and listen to it. And the thing about the Patriots is the fact that their fans, I think, as the season progressed, and I'm not saying that it's like super wrong for them to be doing so, but the more that they won and the further they got through the season, the more delusional they got. And as a person who doesn't necessarily have a dog in the fight aside from just predictions, I feel like it was easy to see why they were getting to these spots and still having false hope. I remember breaking down weeks ago that when they went on it was like 10 wins straight before they had a loss or something like that.
Yeah, 10 or 12.
We read every single one of those teams. There was like 2 good teams out of the whole thing. We did I came out here when they played the Bills the second time and they lost that game, and I said, I think that we might be seeing some slippage. They might have just got exposed. They wanted to say, oh no, it was the refs, it was this.
Yeah, I fought you on that one. I remember that.
It wasn't just you, it was Patriots fans too. We had we went through their entire schedule at one point and compared them versus the Seahawks and the amount of it's subjective, but I went through what I consider to be quality wins on both teams, and it was like 9-4 or something. Seahawks had like 9 quality wins.
Yeah, or 9-5,
something like that.
Yeah.
It was very skewed. And people had pointed out in the comments, they said, look, a lot of the people who have won the Super Bowl haven't always had the greatest strength of schedule. Okay, I understand that. But they weren't ready for the moment. And that's the biggest thing that I thought. And I knew this going into it. If you didn't put your money on the Seahawks money line, I don't know what you were doing last night. I cleaned up a little bit yesterday. I wish I had put more down. But my whole thing with it was the fact that these guys aren't ready. The team is so young. Drake Maye has never been in a position like this. Most of the games that he's played, you've been just beating the hell out of these bad teams. It's not very often that he's had to come out here and okay, this is a close game. I need to perform. We're behind, and I need to throw us back into this game. Even Bo Nix against the Giants, 33 points in the fourth quarter. I don't remember Drake Maye having a game like that. And I'm not a Drake Maye or a Patriots hater at all. Like Drake Maye a lot. Think he's got a lot of talent. Love Mike Vrabel. Been a fan of him back with Tennessee, with Derrick Henry and A.J. Brown and Ryan Tannehill. Like them. But the whole point was, I didn't think that they were ready for this moment. And it's not something that coaching, because I'm not putting this on Vrabel. It's not something that I think coaching can prepare you for.
No.
It's actually having been in these moments, battle tests you and gets you ready for delivering in the biggest moment. And when I see a team that can't score a single point until the fourth quarter, that tells me that you were not ready for this moment. It means that the defense was great, but even despite the good Seattle defense, which it was, Kurt Benkert, who used to be a backup quarterback for the Packers. I woke up this morning. He has a thread, if you go through, and screenshots can be deceiving, I'll give you that. But he has a thread of multiple pictures where he's circling an open receiver that not Drake Maye missed in a throw. Drake Maye did not see. And it led to a sack or an incomplete or something like that. And then even in the fourth quarter, when you get there, and it's like, okay, Drake Maye's starting to heat up. And I don't remember the exact way that the plays went through, but it's like, okay, Drake Maye's reading the defense as well. Here he comes out here throwing a peanut butter and jelly sandwich straight to the other team for an interception. And Chris Collinsworth, who had just got done saying, hey, I think he's reading the defense as well, goes, I got nothing for you. It shows me a team that's not ready to meet the moment because they didn't have to go through the same grind. Yeah. The Seahawks had to go through hell to get to the Super Bowl. People wanted to say, oh, the Niners, they had a lot of hurt players when they played them. Okay, that's good and well. The NFC was a battle this season.
Oh, yeah.
There was teams that missed the playoffs with the same record as teams that made the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
It was an absolute battle to get into there. And they had to go through some of the hardest matchups to go through there. Despite the injuries the Niners had, they still were competing for the number one seed.
Yeah, you still got solid coach in the defense. Like they were still a great coach team.
Yeah.
And I know, like you said, they can't always live up to the moment. But the 49ers coaches, just like the Patriots coaches, they're very good, renowned coaches, good coordinators, especially this year, having Salah on the team. Like that defense and Christian McCaffrey carried them. But that being said, it's never easy to beat the 49ers. It's never easy to beat the Rams. It's never easy, honestly, to beat the Cardinals. The Cardinals will play you hard, as much as they can, like all the time. They are a very, very, very hard beat.
One of the biggest things when I was watching the regular season, the second meeting of the Rams and the Seahawks.
Yes.
That game that went to overtime, and the Seahawks won because they went for two after the Rams had scored a touchdown in overtime.
Yeah.
You're seeing Sam Darnold, a guy that has a lot of question marks or had a lot of question marks. You're seeing him meet the moment and saying that even though this is a close game, I'm not folding. I'm not throwing that game-losing interception. I'm delivering in the biggest moments in front of a national audience on a Sunday night game. The Patriots didn't go through that, and that means something when you're doing it.
Yeah.
To go through and they had to go through the Rams 3 times. They beat the Rams the second time. I'm not sure about the first one. They beat them the second time.
They had to ram the Rams 3 times.
They beat them that game, the NFC Championship game. You're battle tested. You're ready. We know that we're ready for this moment. And I've been saying they have the most balanced team, offense, defense, special teams. And it took all of that last night. Not having blocked kicks, not missing kicks, getting the kicks off, getting down the field. Kenneth Walker just gashing you repeatedly.
Gosh.
And finally, it takes Charbonnet getting hurt for the Seahawks to have to use Kenneth Walker as a bell cow. And look what happens.
I know.
And look what happens. Man went crazy. NFL MVP. And Drake Maye, he had some good moments. The throw that he made to Matt Collins, followed by the touchdown. Beautiful. When he threw, I think it was a touchdown to Ramondre Stevenson. I could be wrong about that. That little run, little quick pass like this to him.
Yeah, I
he
think it
caught
was
that.
Stevenson. Yeah,
That was good plays. But overall, their especially offense, not their defense, but their offense looked like they were not ready at all for the moment. And they had, I think they said that they had out of 53 roster, 30 guys on the team for the first year that season. Drake Maye in his second season. It was just like the Bears, they're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, they're way ahead of schedule. I mean, yeah, that's what I wanted to say. I think we maybe mentioned it a couple episodes ago, but so many, like between Liam Cohen, between Vrabel, between Ben Johnson, those guys are light years ahead of schedule and have set themselves up for a very good extension coming up, I'm sure, in this offseason or next offseason, as long as they keep it up.
Yeah. And I think that something like this is good for Drake May's development. You finally got that test and you got your ass beat in front of everybody. This is what gets you in the gym in the postseason. This is what gets you watching film, throwing, working with your receivers to make sure that this doesn't happen again. This could be a turning point for Drake May's career where he's like, this will never happen to me again. I'm going to make sure it doesn't. And I believe that it's possible. It's also possible there's a lot of teams that have gone once and have never gone back. The Patriots with their organization, their coach, do I think it's going to happen? No. But I think that this was the perfect example of seeing that when you just breeze through on the run to the Super Bowl and you meet somebody that grinded their way to the Super Bowl, when those meet, that meeting is not on the same level at all.
And so they are light years ahead of you at that point.
Yep.
They are just going to eat you up.
And I don't have too much more to say about it because there's not, to me, you can say something else if you want. To me, there's not too much more to say about just the fact that this, if you were watching objectively, I believe, and shout out to Cam Newton, because Cam Newton is another person I know was on the same thing with me the entire season. And they wanted to call him all sorts of a hater. And
yeah, because he used to play there too.
Why would you talk bad about the Patriots knowing that they picked you up and no one else wanted to give you a job? The job that we've got is to watch the tape and fairly objectively break down what we see. And Cam and I both saw this has kind of been a cakewalk for y'all. And Cam, better than me, actually playing, knows how that turns out. So everyone needs to come up and give their respect to not just to me, but to Cam Newton for all the disrespect that he had to hear this entire season. The people telling him that he was just on bitter berries.
True.
This was not a close game. The final score wound up being what was it? A 13-point game?
It was 16, 29-13, I believe. Or was it 29-15?
I thought it was whatever it was. I think that it was a 13-point differential.
Okay.
It wasn't even that close. It really wasn't. It really was not. No. Scoring a bunch of yards in the fourth quarter when the game's out of hand, getting 2 touchdowns.
By the time Mac Hollins caught that pass, I already knew it was still over. Like, he caught that first touchdown, and I was still like, all right, there's a little hope. But, like, what are you really going to do here? And then the Seahawks went and scored, and it was, you knew. You knew at that point.
The pain for me having a Kenneth Walker anytime touchdown. And he got it, and I'm celebrating, and they called it back. Absolute pain. Absolute pain.
Hey, shout out to Michigan athlete, though.
Kenneth Walker?
Yeah.
Yes, Michigan State. Yep. And I've never forgotten what he did to us in that U of M MSU game. And I've known that he was like that. And I've been a big Seahawks, what are y'all doing with the Charbonnet thing? Let Kenneth Walker ball. They're going to have a hard decision when it comes because I think his contract may be up this season. It's either this season or next season. But Charbonnet is hurt. Kenneth Walker could be a free agent. You got to make a decision here. Y'all better make the right one because you just saw what happens with the Vikings when you make the wrong decision.
Absolutely. The wrong guy go. You better keep Kenneth. Dude, that guy is a certified killer. I was working the Eastern Market when he was facing Michigan in that game. Michigan's up by like 3 touchdowns. I think it was 28-7 at halftime. And I was like, all right, we got this. And then while I'm freaking serving people wine, I'm just looking down at my phone that's playing it. It's just playing no sound. And all of a sudden, Kenneth Walker, touchdown. Kenneth Walker, touchdown.
Balling.
Dude, he had 4 touchdowns in the second half. The dude he's an X factor.
Oh, yeah.
If you get rid of him, Seahawks, you are idiots. You are seriously fucking up the future of your running back room. If you get rid of this man.
I think that everyone is just so traumatized by the Todd Gurley cliff that it's forever impacted running backs.
Todd Gurley, the narrative around that has totally ruined. I mean, even David Montgomery, everybody's like, yeah, he's the year he had prior, even before this year, the best clip he had was week 3 versus the Seahawks when he juked out Witherspoon and made him look stupid. Or he trucked Witherspoon and made him look stupid. And like Lions fans all around me have all been like, oh, he really just he's getting slower and he's not he's not going to be able to maintain this any longer, and that's why he wants out, because the Lions don't want him anymore because they see it. And maybe they do, but to me, getting that guy outside, like, it's the same thing as like, and I think it was wrong of them to do this when the Saints got rid of Ingram. Right? Like, that was bad for Kamara, because Kamara has nobody to like let the defenses try to fight against anymore. It's all him. Like, your whole game plan just comes and develops around him. When there's no Montgomery, everything goes around Gibbs. And yes, this year that was coach's decision, and I hated that. But like, I think what we're gonna get next year under Petzing is a little bit more of that two-headed back coming back, and hopefully.
You always trying to sneak in a Lions topic.
Always. I will never not. I love this team. I love Dan Campbell.
Yeah. The last thing that I want to say about this, just to really drive the point home, and I think, reference this earlier in this episode, the difference that experience makes. You see a Drake Maye that looked completely outmatched and overwhelmed by the moment. Phillip Rivers, off his couch, first start, took the Seahawks down to the wire. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The experience matters.
That is crazy. Yeah, that he faced literally the best defense in the league and took him to a field goal. That was, I didn't even think about that, but we talked about that when it happened, but it was, now that all this shit went down.
Yep.
The fact that Phillip Rivers came off the couch after freaking tying his daughter's freaking bow for her dance recital and giving his son his playbook before his game, like, then went and suited up, like, dude.
Yeah. So
shout out Phillip.
I think that things will be better for the Patriots moving forward. Like, this is not the end or anything like that. I think this is probably just the beginning. But hey, you got to get there sometimes and get that ass beat so you can come back with a vengeance. But on to the person that had more yards than the Patriots in the entire first half. Let's talk about this Bad Bunny halftime. What did you think about it?
Yeah, honestly, like, watching it, like, yeah, it was fun. We were dancing, we were having fun. It wasn't like, it wasn't for me, and I understood that. I understood that there are so many Americans right now that are loving this, and I also kind of laughed at the fact that there's so many Americans right now that are hating this. Like, but yeah, I thought it was a great performance. He definitely told the story. The coolest thing to me was immediately after watching the game, I saw the clip of like the Puerto Rican Americans outside of the stadium still singing and dancing after, and I was like, this is so cool that they get their moment. Like, everybody mad about this was like when Tom Petty was playing the Super Bowl in 2006. They were like, dude, I'm fucking free-falling, man. Like, they were, but like, now they're so mad because he doesn't, so it's just like, I don't know. To me, it like, let it be. Let them have their moment. Y'all have had plenty. We've had plenty. As a white man in America, we have had plenty of homages paid to us at Super Bowl halftime. Like, yeah, let's let everybody get a moment, and I did think it was entertaining, and I don't know the specifics, which I think you'll probably inform me on, but I don't know the specifics of the symbolism on it, but I could see, like, I heard him, saying "Me gusta Puerto Rico, me gusta America," or something along those lines, and I was like, we didn't have subtitles on. I'm not just my spelling, my reading isn't that bad, but yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I thought it was a fun halftime show, and that's what it is. It's 10 minutes. If you don't like it, freaking go get a beer and come back, and it'll be over.
Yeah, so I want to talk about my thoughts, someone that I talked to, and then I want to talk about the turning point halftime.
I forgot about the Turning Point halftime. Holy shit.
Yep. So,
oh my god,
I'm watching this with my boy Chris, who's also black, and we're talking about the fact that, like, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I came into this with not a lot of expectations for myself, basically, as a non-Spanish speaker. And then he started off. Start was a little shaky at first, I thought, but then he kind of got into it. The vibes were hitting. I was kind of out here doing a little. I was vibing. You know what I mean? Didn't understand a word of what was going on, but I was catching the vibe for sure. I'm watching. One of the things I thought that was really good about what he did was so much of the background that even if you didn't necessarily understand the music, you could kind of tell what the story was that was going on.
I agree. Yeah.
So there was a lot, and basically Chris and I were watching it. We're talking about, like, you know how last year with Kendrick, there was definitely a message being sent with that.
Yes.
It feels like Bad Bunny was putting on the same kind of a message for all of Latin America,
Yeah.
which I respected. I respected the hell out of.
Absolutely.
I thought that at the end too, when he came through, and Matt and I were talking about this, and he even pointed out that he said this is in English. The fact that at the end of it, he said, "God bless America." And then in the back, you've got the sign up that says the only thing more powerful than hate is love. Everyone knows what's going on right now in this country as it pertains to ICE and basically the war that Trump has waged on Hispanics, specifically Latins. I think I said this when we talked with Matt on Wednesday. This is a group of people that make up a large percent of our country that definitely need some love right now.
Mm-hmm.
And Bad Bunny came through and delivered that love. And what's funny about this, like I said, we'll talk about Turning Point in a second. A lot of the stuff that he talked about and portrayed, if you could actually sit here and break it down, I don't even know why the conservatives would be upset about this outside of race. All he talked about was family values, culture, family. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lie. It wasn't wilding. You know what I mean? It was wholesome things that he was talking about. Once again, God bless America. You know why? Because Puerto Rico is part of America. They are U.S. citizens.
Yes.
And then to end, he shouted out, he had all the flags and shouted out all of the countries that make up Latin America. America isn't just the U.S. It's all of these countries.
Mm-hmm.
And he gave them all some love, which I thought was nice. But
I agree.
The part of, like, even though
that's so funny.
And we're going to talk about this in a little bit too as it pertains to the Olympics, you can have issues with the country and still fight to make it better. That's what a good citizen does, to make the best America that we can possibly have. It doesn't mean that you disagree with everything that's going on.
Right.
And so for you to come out here, I'm a person, not me, but as Bad Bunny, I'm a person that they've done everything that they can do to slander. They're having a separate halftime show too. And I'm going to come out here and say, God bless America, because I'm an American and I want us all to be blessed. That's about as American as it gets.
I know.
When people, when conservatives, God and country, that's him, God and country, as Bad Bunny.
That's so true.
I obviously did not understand all of the symbolism and stuff that went with it. So, Ant, who's been on our show a few times, he's actually Puerto Rican, and so I hit him. I was like, "Hey, what did you think about the halftime?" I wanted to read you one of the texts that he had sent that kind of breaks down a little bit more of this. I'm gonna read this word for word for what he said. It was an intricate display of Puerto Rican culture, where the focal point was the journey from the sugarcane fields where a lot of our grandparents and great grandparents earned a living, to all the places we now call home. It felt like a museum exhibit that was being housed by his music. It was a very beautiful thing. It's like, if you know, but I had to rewatch it at least once. It wasn't as extravagant and over the top as he has shown himself to be, so I'm sure that left some people overwhelmed or underwhelmed. I appreciate him shouting out all Latinos during this trying time. Example, the young boy that he gave his Grammy to was actually a 5-year-old boy that was deported with his father in the beginning of 2025, and he incorporated them into the performance. So that's from Ant. Also, it's been reported that the wedding that they showed, as a real wedding.
That was?
They invited
I
him,
thought so.
Yep, they invited him to their wedding, and he said, "Why don't y'all get married at the Super Bowl for me?" And even in that, all they show was just examples of family. The little kid falling asleep on the chairs, surrounded by family. You know what I mean? Because these, Spanish family gatherings last for forever, as I'm sure lots of people can relate to.
Mm-hmm.
All the tias and tios out there. The little corner store where the lady was working. She's an actual store owner in Puerto Rico that was affected by something out there. I can't remember what the specifics were.
What?
And they had raised money for her to be able to continue her store.
Wow.
They showed the different jobs, the nail tech, some of the bodegas, stuff like that. They're important
so
to their
cool.
culture. The Black House, the power grids, where they show the people on the power lines. There was a Hurricane Maria. I think this is 8 years ago. So Puerto Rico deals with frequent power outages. So just incorporating all of that, all of the culture of their people into this halftime performance that we're going to then share with America. That's beautiful, whether you speak the language or not.
It really is.
To sidebar too, I saw some tweets that were very funny too. It was, talking about like, he had a lot of baddies out there shaking ass. It's a universal language of shaking ass.
Everybody knows how to dance.
There is a lot of stuff out there that you could have and no matter what you looked at it, if you took the time to come with an open heart and open ears to learn about someone else's culture. And the thing about America, before the last election, we're supposed to be the melting pot. What makes America great is the fact that we've got so many different cultures in here. Everyone comes together,
right?
And you bring something. It's like a potluck. You bring something, I bring something, you bring something, and everybody comes together, and it makes us great. It makes us better than these other countries. That's what makes America great. That's why we're superior. We all are bringing something to the table. So if you chose to sit here and have an issue with yesterday before you even saw it and didn't give it a chance, you got to check inside your heart and see what's going on. Which brings me to the turning point halftime. It's the biggest fucking display of being a loser I've ever seen in my life. The fact that you could not give this guy 10 minutes of your time to, like you said, if you're not fucking with him, go grab a beer. The fact is you are so mad about this and about it's anti-American. And Puerto Rico's part of the U.S. is insane to me. To where the fact that you threw a separate halftime, and if you chose to watch Kid Rock, what a fucking loser, dog.
Bro.
And I don't know if you've seen clips of that performance. He's up there lip syncing, and it's offbeat. It was terrible. I saw just a clip of it. He's got the mic down. The words are still coming out. You didn't even try. You didn't even. And this is what y'all chose to watch over somebody that told a beautiful story. One that we might not have understood the words of, but can follow along with.
And they're like, at least he spoke English.
And that is some loser shit. And
yeah,
the last thing that I want to say about that is just the fact that Jake Paul, loser ass, got on and was tweeting about how bad it was, and he turned his TV off. Or I don't remember the entire specifics.
Turn the TV off. Turn the TV off.
But here's the thing about the Pauls, from what I understand, what I've seen on this. I have not fact checked it, but I've seen this from multiple sources at this point. He and his brother moved to Puerto Rico to avoid taxes, to avoid this level of taxes from living here. You live in Puerto Rico and you're talking bad about the Puerto Rican performing being anti-American. And shout out to his brother Logan Paul. I don't follow the Pauls very closely, but I do think that given what I think that their base of supporters is, and the fact that Jake obviously made this statement, Logan Paul came out afterwards and quote tweeted his brother and said, "I love my brother, but I disagree with you on this." And I'm paraphrasing. He said, "Puerto Ricans are Americans, and they deserve the same level of respect and everything as the regular Americans." Which I think takes a lot of balls for Logan to come out and say that. But
absolutely, I agree. And so me and Miranda got sent this, or maybe she found it. Yeah, I'm calling you out. So it said, of course, the NFL would announce a non-U.S. citizen for the Super Bowl halftime show. End quote. Rihanna, non-U.S. citizen. Shakira, non-U.S. citizen. Coldplay, non-U.S. citizens. The Who, non-U.S. citizens. Rolling Stones, non-U.S. citizens. Paul McCartney, non-U.S. citizens. U2, non-U.S. citizens. The Weeknd, not a U.S. citizen. Who's a U.S. citizen?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
And guess where the line was? You know why? Because he's of Spanish descent. If you can look at this and see anything other than racism as the reason that he had the reaction that he had, I can't help you at this point. But if you came with open ears and an open heart, it was something beautiful that was on TV last night.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I thought. Like seeing the show, seeing the whole show that he put on, and then immediately going and seeing how like the response in the parking lot from even the people that couldn't get in, like that was just like, all right, the impact is so there. Like everybody's showing out. Like that is exactly what you want to see from something like that.
Absolutely. So, I mean, to put a bow on this, I think that personally, I think that every year we need to rotate the Super Bowl into being something a little bit different and give something to everybody. One year it's going to be Luke Bryan, it might be Kendrick Lamar, it might be Bad Bunny, but once again, that's all different things that make up America, and I think that we need to continue to rotate it. When it's your turn, celebrate, be excited.
Yes.
If it's not your turn, tune in. You still might find something that you like.
Exactly.
And if you don't, deal with it because you're going to get yours in another year to 3 years.
Yeah, I'm sure Luke Bryan will play next year, Jelly Roll or something. So y'all will get yours. Don't worry. But they'll totally. I'm sure they're gonna go right back. They're gonna be like, all right, we gotta tend to the white people now. Like, there's been a few too many years. We gotta bring another white in.
Hey, and shout out to Green Day too. That was a pretty cool little snippet.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I was definitely like a lot of people when I was a little bit younger, big into Green Day. It was very nostalgic to hear some of those. They had Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams, American Idiot, nice. Yep. And we know what the American Idiot was about. We know why they were there to perform, and I appreciate the NFL, who so often I think has done the wrong thing. Shout out Colin Kaepernick, but to have all of the responses that they got to Bad Bunny, and so let's double down. We're gonna give them Green Day too.
Mm-hmm.
A message was
we're gonna give them Green Day and Lady Gaga. We're gonna give them.
I will say the lady, you brought that up. I didn't understand the purpose of her being there. They never made any songs together or anything.
No, she just covered the Bruno Mars part of a song. It was kind of, I don't know.
What did it have to do with Bad Bunny? I don't know.
I don't know. I agree. I don't know. I guess Bruno didn't want to be there.
I was surprised that he didn't have like either Cardi B, who he made Gasolina with, or like Bia, who's like a Puerto Rican musician. I'm surprised that someone like that was also performing, but I'm not going to tell Bad Bunny how to do his job.
Yeah.
I was just a little surprised. I was like, is that Lady Gaga?
Yeah, maybe they're friends. I don't know. I would also assume she's probably the cheapest. No offense. No, not saying she's cheap.
You think Lady Gaga would be cheaper than Bia? Do you know who Bia is?
No, I don't.
That's my point.
Yeah. I've seen the name on songs, but yeah, no, I don't know who the fuck she is.
So a Puerto Rican rapper. Right. She's pretty straight too. I like some of the music. But I guess that's I'm surprised that I don't know.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I don't know. It was a weird insert. I was always a Lady Gaga fan. I loved how good of a musician she was. Mm-hmm. And then she tried to do an Italian accent in House of Gucci, and I was kind of like, I don't buy it. So ever since then, I've kind of had a little skewed. But it was a good movie, but
never seen it.
Her accent was terrible.
All right. Let's talk some Lindsey Vonn.
Oh, boy. My favorite of the night.
So we talked about this on Wednesday. You, me, and Matt, we had talked about the fact of, if you somehow have not heard about this story, Lindsey Vonn, in I think like a practice, like a week before the Olympics, ruptured her ACL, and determined at 40 years old, I believe if what I've heard is correct too, came out of retirement to do this Olympics. One of the best female skiers, inspired a large group of people to be able to continue to do what she was doing. And 40 years old, she's like, there's not going to be another Olympics after this. So I'm going to have to do this now. And so she did. And with the ruptured ACL, from what I saw from this, I watched the clip of it, lasted 13 seconds, went down. Now, I've seen mixed things on this, on if it was a mistake that she made, and her pole caught one of the flags that threw her off balance, or what it is. As someone that skied not nearly as much as someone like her, who has skied before, a lot of the turning is all on the shifting you're doing, but also on your knees. And I feel like your knees have to be really intact to be able to make the moves you're making.
Yeah.
Just seeing that she was going to try to do this, I thought this might not be a good idea. And so this to me was a situation of like where someone has an idea and they tell you, and you're like, this sounds like a stupid idea. And they're so confident in it that you're like, maybe this isn't as stupid as I thought. And it happens, and it was just as stupid as you thought it was going to be. and I'm not trying to make a joke of this because it is really sad. I feel to work so hard to make it to the Olympics and then have that snatched from you, it's terrible. And I still, and it sounds like from what we talked pre-show, it sounds like you may disagree with me. I don't fault her for trying to do it. I think that if you work so hard to do this, you already are going to need surgery. You're already 40. If I need surgery, what's more surgery going to be? If I mess it up even worse, I'm not mad at you for trying to attempt it. And then completely wiped out. It sounds like I think she broke her leg. Had to get life flighted out of there, and had surgery, hopefully recovering. And Lindsey Vonn, we wish you well, wishing you nothing but a full recovery and blessings for you. I'm not mad at her for attempting it, but I think it turned out like a lot of people think. And lastly, before I turn it over to you, I saw a lot of people tweeting about the fact where it's like, so many stories of like the underdog pushing through or, overcoming adversity and stuff like that have happened and are like publicized. You forget most of the time those stories don't usually work out that well.
Right.
And so this was one of those situations where, unfortunately for Lindsey Vonn, you still went out there and it went just about as poorly as everyone would have expected.
Yeah, no, we called it. I mean, not to be like, oh, yeah, everybody would have known. I commend her for trying, but man, like, so when I first came into this, I was like, what are we at? What, like, she's like 37, and then I found out no, she's 40, 41. Like, yeah, this is her last dance. But if you came back for your last dance, so she retired in 2019.
Okay.
So she hasn't participated in competitively in that long. And then you get hurt in training. To me, that's the moment you realize, hang it up. Don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt your, like, it's your quality of life thing at that point. Like, you're just trying to think about, what am I going to do after this? I got kids. I got a family to think about. Like, I don't know. At the end of the day, like, how far is too far before I get why she wanted to do it. I would have wanted to do it. I would have wanted to fight. I would have wanted to be a part of that competition. But, like, I guess as someone that's disconnected, it's easy for me to say this, but, like, man, like, as soon as your ACL tears like that, my mind is just going to go to, all right, how can I get quality of life? How can I make my quality of life top tier after this? Right? It's not falling down a freaking hill at 40 miles an hour. You know the type of impact you're taking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's coming. So, like, I don't know. To me, it's like she should have known that it was just going to re-tear. The second she miscalculated something, which happened, what'd you say, 13 seconds in?
Mm-hmm.
She miscalculated a turn. She took it a little too fast. And when you have a torn ACL, how are you going to take that impact? She literally tried to take a dive, and, like, you can almost see it, and she couldn't. But yeah, it's just disappointing.
I guess the parts where, because I'm like I said, I know that we disagree on this. I think the two pieces of this where you're saying as soon as you have that injury before the Olympics, maybe it's time to hang it up. I think if you're trying to qualify for the Olympics and that happens, it's a different story than I'm on the team. The Olympics are next week. I'm already going.
Yeah, but they have alternates. They have people that they can put in your place.
Oh, absolutely.
If you can't perform, you can't perform.
And to be objective, there's a very strong argument to be made that they could have subbed her out for someone else, and that person could have gotten their shine to perform. If I'm not mistaken, I think that the U.S. still took gold in that event, which means that it didn't wind up mattering. But I think that you have to really put yourself inside the mind of an athlete. And I think that a professional athlete at that. And I think that a lot of them are willing to consistently do a lot to make it to where they're able to perform, even if that means something bad later. And quality of life means more than just your body, too. There's been a lot of stuff. You heard Mike McDonald, the Seahawks coach, talk about he spends 3 hours a week with his son.
Wow.
And because the rest of it is just grind. Shannon Sharp has talked about the difficulties of having kids, trying to maintain relationships when you're hunting for the Super Bowl. And so obviously most of those athletes that I've closely following and listening to are related to football and basketball. But I think it's all like that. When you've got, like I said, quality of life is more than just your body itself. When you're sitting there missing dance recitals, missing your kids' picture day and first days at school because you're training, you're watching film. Tom Brady lost his wife over wanting to play one more year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that.
Or you're recording your podcast with your buddy, and you miss something. You miss your kids' first steps. No, I'm kidding.
And the fact of the things that you're willing to sacrifice to achieve your ultimate goal.
Yeah.
The players that play injured, though, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I forgot which player it was. There's a player that played at the Super Bowl with a broken leg. I think the point, and especially how good medicine is nowadays too. I think it's just like, look, when this is over, no matter how bad it is, I'm gonna get the surgery. I'm gonna get back to whatever it is. Hopefully, I've got the money to be able to take care of myself for this. Why not give it the last shot? I can't falter for doing that, even though it didn't go poorly.
Or it didn't go well.
Or it didn't go well. Excuse me. Yeah,
it did go poorly. Yeah.
Yes.
No, I agree. I as an athlete, it's hard. It's hard to tell another one no. And you can't tell another one no.
Tua Tagovailoa, people wanted him to retire after his last hit to the head.
I know.
Maybe he should have because he's been playing like shit. Sorry for another time. The whole thing is, and you realize that with the speed that they're going on and some of the jumps and stuff, a lot of these things, anyways, you land wrong, you make one small miscalculation, fully healthy.
Oh, yeah.
You could get seriously injured out of there in general, anyways. It's always a risk when you go out there and do that. You could be a perfectly healthy NFL player, go out there and get hit in the head, and Damar Hamlin died.
Yeah, literally.
Damar Hamlin literally died.
He literally died.
Was resuscitated and continued to play football.
I know.
So the last thing that I guess I've got on that, it didn't go well. If it did, if she finished the race, even if she would get gold, if she finished the race, that would have been a
win.
It would have been one of the most inspirational stories ever. She went out there at 40 years old with a ruptured ACL and just showed y'all what determination looks like.
Oh, that's true. One of my favorite lacrosse clips ever was a guy who went out there and they used like towels to strap him a hamstring because he tore his hamstring. Oh. And he played with like towels on the back of his pads and everything, and like, yeah, all and like rubber bands all wrapped around everything just to like keep it kind of moving like a hamstring would.
That's insane.
Yeah, and he played a full game. And all right, so my mind has been completely changed. Lindsey Vonn, all due respect to you. Thank you for doing what you did and trying your best and trying to get your ass out there, like regardless of what happened, because you could have made history.
Yeah.
Fuck your future.
Okay. Right or wrong, the easy decision would have been to not go.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
The easy thing.
Yeah,
and no one would have faulted you for it.
That's what I do. I make easy decisions.
So, keeping it in the Olympics, I'm not sure if you've seen about this or not, but basically, they have these media days out there, and the reporters asking the athletes questions and stuff.
Yeah.
And so I don't know the player's name. I think this has been more than one athlete. So I'm just going to kind of keep this general. But basically, some of the athletes were being asked about what does it mean to them to be out here representing America, the U.S., in these games. We talked about this already earlier with some of the stuff with the Bad Bunny situation. Everyone knows what's going on in America right now. And not just with ICE, but also with the president that we've got right now and the way that he feels about different groups. And there's been several athletes that have said, like, I'm not necessarily proud of my country right now. I'm out here doing this for my friends and my family. People have showed up for me, doing this for myself. It's hard to necessarily be very go America at this current point in time. And this is basically, and there was, once again, forgot the athlete's name. People talking about, like, with the president we've got right now, there's a lot of LGBTQ athletes out here too. We don't feel great about this either, but, here we are. This has obviously brought forth the same people that told LeBron to shut up and dribble, saying the same thing that, if the players don't, or the athletes, athletes, not players, but if the athletes are feeling a certain type of way about this, maybe you shouldn't be representing America. Maybe you should be home and give that spot to somebody else. You should be proud to be out here at all times for this. People talking about, people died for this flag that you wear on your vest or wear on your uniform, and you're disrespecting them by saying this. The people, as someone that's not served in the military, but has had many friends and family that have. The things that people have died for with that come with the rights that we have to the First Amendment to go out there and speak and use your platform to speak for whatever it is, right or wrong, good or bad. That's subjective.
Right.
But to use your platform to say how you feel and to ask for change. And like I said with Bad Bunny, just because you aren't happy with where your country is now and you're pushing for something to change, that is a good citizen doing their civic duty. So
Yeah.
to continually come out in if you're not, what is it? A dictatorship. That's where you have to go out there and just say, I'm happy to represent North Korea or China or Russia. Then you can't. That it's supposed to be those countries, not us.
Yeah.
And it's not supposed to be us where you can't say that. Now, granted, the people that are complaining are also using the First Amendment right. They have the right to feel that way. But now we're in a big chain of they got the right to say that. Now they have the right, and I have the right to say this. But my thing to you is, I think that we should listen to what these people are saying. And they have the right to say that. And I think that the Olympics have not been, this is not the first time this political statement's ever been made. Jesse Owens at the Olympics.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a statement. There's been statements before. And I think that you don't have often as big of a stage as you'll ever have as the world stage of the Olympics.
True.
And I'm sorry.
Place to do it.
And I'm sorry. Last thing before you go into.
Oh yeah, you're good.
A lot of people in other countries are not happy at us right now with the things that have been going on. Greenland, the tariffs, the way that we've talked to and about other countries from our president and our administration. And I think it's also good to show the world too that, hey, while maybe our country as a whole is doing this, we don't all feel like this.
Right.
And I'm telling the rest of the world, we don't all feel like this.
Right. I think it's a reminder too that like the biggest thing I want to get through with this, like being a patriot didn't used to mean that you're a fascist or you're only for your own, your own kind or your own color. Like being a patriot used to just mean America first. And it used to just mean we love America, really. Like, and that's what I think we as a whole, and I think so many people can agree, we love America. We love this country. We love what it's done for so many people. We need to get back to a more unified place in it. And that's exactly what that was an example of. So, I mean, shout out to the Winter Olympics for letting this be a story that we can talk about, because I feel like so many other sports might even just try to sweep something like that under the rug too, like
when you're a kid and you don't do your homework and your parents ground you, it might feel like they hate you, but they're really doing this because they love you and want you to be your best self. Bad Bunny, these Olympians, this is people speaking, people using their platforms to speak, whether
we're grounded.
They have a big platform or a small platform. The point is, because you could just leave.
We're going to call this the Great White Grounding.
Some people do leave, but to stay and fight to change something to be the best U.S. that we can be, that is a patriot.
That's right. I agree with that completely.
Last topic. So this came out Super Bowl Sunday earlier in the day. I'm going to read you a series of 3 tweets, and we're going to talk about this.
Oh, boy.
NFL star linebacker James Pearce Jr. was arrested Saturday after fleeing a domestic dispute and crashing his vehicle during a police chase, according to Doral Police Chief Edwin Lopez. That's tweet number 1. Tweet number 2. This is from Andy Slater. James Pearce Jr. is accused of intentionally crashing his Lamborghini into his ex-girlfriend's car multiple times, trying to stop her from getting to a police station, law enforcement sources tell me. That alleged incident led to the cops chasing the NFL star. Now, the ex-girlfriend in question is WNBA player Rakia Jackson, which is just more information to the story. From Andy Slater again. Pearce Jr. also intentionally drove into a police officer, hitting the cop's knee in an effort to get away, I'm told. The Atlanta Falcons linebacker is, quote, lucky to be alive after that, a high-ranking police source tells me. Now, Last thing on that, reportedly, and I don't have that tweet in front of me, it took 7 police officers to bring him down. Someone else pointed out Trent Williams was able to keep this guy from getting 0 sacks the last time that they played. The only funny part of this whole situation. The rest of this, not funny at all.
No.
But it's terrible, and he needs to go sit down for a long time in prison. They need to lock that motherfucker up and throw away the key. That's all bad things. To do whatever this domestic dispute was to begin with, I don't have the details on that. I don't want to speculate. I don't know what details you have. But to do that, then to repeatedly crash into a car, try to stop her from going to the cops, and then hit a police officer in his knee, it's not good. And they are right. There's not too many people going, we just saw somebody executed by ICE for, quote, trying to run them over with the car not too long ago.
Mm-hmm.
And now you actually hit this officer in his knee, and they were able to. And that's what good police work looks like. That's what you're supposed to be out here doing. Took 7 officers to bring him down. Did not kill him.
Did not kill him.
You mean it's possible? It is possible. It is possible. Huh?
You just got to be in the NFL.
You imagine that. But in all seriousness, it's a terrible situation. It's ugly. And from what it sounds like, in talking to Matt and Toph too in our group chat, I forgot which one of them said this, that he had the lowest, character evaluation in the NFL draft, and still was taken, I believe, in the first round by the Falcons.
Yeah,
it's not a good look. It's not a good look for him, obviously. Also for the Falcons, where you see that he's got these off the field issues and stuff like that, and still continue to draft him.
Exactly.
We had a long conversation with the girls earlier about Deshaun Watson.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you make these decisions where you say, I don't care about anything else but winning, shit can come back and bite you in the ass. And now, like I said, he deserves every bit and probably more of whatever time they're going to give him. But also the Falcons, when you make this decision that character matters not at all, now your first-round draft pick is going to be sitting down, and you're going to be without him.
Yep. 10.5 sacks, 66 tackles, 55 solos, something like that. I think it was 55 solos. But I mean, what's that get you at the end of the? You want to bring guys in that are going to be able to handle the pressure, handle the moment, and be professionals at the end of the day. And there's plenty of athletes that have had all the talent in the world and have not been able to fulfill that, you know? And I hope James Pearce can get back, honestly, like get back to himself and get back right eventually. But he's going to have to spend some time. I mean, Michael Vick, of all people, right? Like, he spent how many years? 3 years in prison and came back and found a career out of it at 31 as a QB, like in the 2000s. He found a way to come back. So, like, the path ain't closed for you, James Pearce Jr., but dude, you gotta straighten it out. Like, this is,
I think it's probably over for him, personally.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. It's that much happening, like you're chasing down everybody and you're doubling down on what you did. Like, you're not just like, I don't know. Not going down easy is never a good sign. But
isn't he being charged with attempted manslaughter?
Yeah. But Stallworth got attempted manslaughter and he made a comeback for a couple of years. But
I didn't know that.
He didn't, as soon as he came back, Plaxico Burress, they come back. They're never the same. As soon as you leave, like, if Henry Ruggs tries to make a comeback, we're not seeing 2021 Henry Ruggs anymore.
I have sympathy and I pray for the person.
Sure. Yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Yeah.
I also still think that you need to be held accountable for the things that you do, and that's bad all the way around.
No,
and to have whatever happened inside the house and then to try to crash into her car to prevent her from going from the cops, that's very ugly. It's very bad.
Yeah.
And like I said, I pray for the person. Hope that, you and fuck the NFL, just you as a person, I hope that you get right with your emotions, with hopefully trying to make some sort of amends with Rakia.
True.
With your soul, with God.
Yeah.
But you also need to be held accountable for what you did.
Yeah.
That's terrible. And with the police officer as well, too. And
the Falcons suck. The Falcons suck.
You want to talk about the Pistons or no?
Oh, yeah, we can get into it a little bit.
Okay, I lied. So this is our actual last topic.
Because if you asked me that and then I said no, then anybody who is still watching, thank you for still watching. By the way, if you're still here right now, thank you for fuck's sake. The fact that our wives are still here, we're thanking God. But go ahead.
Well, the Pistons played the Hornets tonight, and there was a little skirmish, a little kerfuffle. You had Jalen Duren, I believe, was followed by, how do you say this guy's name? Because this looks like Mufasa.
Yep. Musa. Shoot. Oh yeah. Musa Diabate.
Okay. So it looks like he followed Duren, and then kind of got up in his face, head bumped him. Duren mushed him. Fight was on. Take it from here.
Yeah. So honestly, it was it was just a straight ball. It was a hard foul. Duren got in his face. Diabate hit him with the headbutt, and then Duren gave him the hand push, the classic Ben Wallace hand push to the face, and all bets were off. And then next thing you know, benches are cleared. Well, the benches weren't fully cleared.
No, but it was just one guy, the
one person
suspect
on the bench that was cleared, and that was Beefy Stu. He is not gonna let anybody get into a fight with any of his players without getting in there and getting a punch in himself. And he got a couple in. He got a couple little haymakers in there, a couple good jabs. He's probably going to be suspended for 2 to 3 games, I'd guess.
I think leaving the bench on its own, I think, is at least
that's one. And honestly, I think throwing a punch is another 5 immediately, I think is the rule. So that might be a 6. Look, Stu, if you did that in April, I would be so mad at you. But the fact that you did that right now, that's all good. That's good for the culture. You're keeping everything moving. You're letting everybody know that nobody messes with Detroit. You try to swing on Detroit, you're swinging on everybody in Detroit. I don't care if I've been sitting on the bench for 15 minutes, if I'm fighting an injury, I'm freaking coming in with two hooks on each side.
Without knowing more, because we just saw the clips as we were getting ready for the episode. Without knowing more of the context of this, it looks to me like the first thing that happened was Mufasa. I'm sorry. Got in Duren's face first. He created he walked up on him and touched heads. Mm-hmm. So now you were the aggressor and the person that made physical contact first, and the fouler. Mm-hmm. So with that being said, if we have that correct, because I don't know what happened prior to this, if we have that correct, I'm not necessarily saying that Stewart was right. What I am saying is that in sports, lots of times you gotta let somebody know, and this is not just for the Hornets, this is for the entire league. If you want to start getting rough, start getting physical, want to fight, you're gonna have to deal with this guy. And this guy's probably gonna give you a little bit more than what you want. So everybody can know this is your yearly Isaiah Stewart reminder that Isaiah Stewart is about that action. And if you want to go put your hands on somebody with the Pistons, you're going to have to see Isaiah Stewart. You're going to have to see 28. You're going to have to see 28. So, hey, you keep that in mind. The next time you want to hard follow somebody, next time you want to put your hands on somebody, next time you want to get physical, it's Bad Boys Basketball, and Isaiah Stewart has got everything and more than what you want for you.
He's got the whole package and then some, dude. Well, okay, I'm out. No, Late Entry family, we out. Thank y'all for tuning in.
Thank you guys again. 100 episodes. We're gonna keep going. It's gonna be 100 more before you know it. But thank you everybody that's been with us on this journey, and please continue to stay with us as we keep going. Don't forget, if you are not, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all the places.
Don't forget to get on Wednesday night live, 10 p.m. Eastern time. We will see y'all there.
Late Entry, we out. Peace.